In my hand is a jacket that I have used for a long time, and recently it has started to have problems with the bottom latch of the zipper. The plastic part of the latch has gradually worn out over time, making it very difficult for me to fasten the latch every time. When I try to pull the two sides of the zipper up, it can still be pulled, but after a short distance, the two rows of teeth separate and no longer hold tightly together. Anyone who has ever experienced this situation will probably understand the quite uncomfortable feeling. The jacket is still good, but because of a small detail, the zipper cannot be zipped normally. Instead of having to replace the entire zipper, which is very time-consuming and expensive, today I will try a very interesting trick, using the aluminum foil blister that people often throw away to recreate the missing latch. It sounds simple, but the results are really surprising. With just a few small steps, the jacket can be revived and zipped smoothly like before. If you have a jacket with a broken latch like me, watch this video until the end. You might find a way to fix it at home without having to take it to a repair shop. Next, I will start preparing the main ingredient for this tip, which is an aluminum blister pack. Usually, after using up the medicine, we will throw away the blister pack, but in fact, its aluminum material is very sturdy and flexible, extremely suitable for use as a new pin for the shirt buckle. Choose the flat aluminum part, then use scissors to cut around it. Remove the excess parts and the soft aluminum shell. After getting a relatively flat piece of aluminum, I continue to cut it into a rectangular piece. This piece does not need to be too big, just enough for me to align it to fit the missing pin on the shirt buckle. Once I had the aluminum foil from the blister pack ready, I set it aside to start working on the broken clasp on the shirt. First, I used scissors to cut off the frayed threads around the clasp area. These small threads sometimes make it difficult for the zipper to work, so I cut them cleanly to make the clasp look neater. Then, I continued to cut off the old plastic remaining on the clasp. This was the part that was worn and no longer worked as it was originally. Next, to improve the fit of the zipper, I used pliers to remove a locking tooth on the upper part of the zipper. It may sound a bit strange, but adjusting the number of teeth near the clasp will help the zipper grip tighter, limiting the possibility of it separating when pulled up. Once the locking tooth was removed, I used a sharp toothpick to clean and clear the hole of the locking tooth. This will help the locking tooth to grip tighter and operate more smoothly after reinstallation. Once the hole was cleared, I attached the locking tooth down near the bottom latch, where it would help strengthen the lock and support the newly made latch made from the pillbox. Every time I press lightly, I check to see if the teeth are hugging the string properly. Sometimes I have to lift the teeth up a little, adjust the angle, and then press down again. This is repeated a few times until the teeth are in the right position, hugging the string like the original teeth. Once the teeth are in the right place, I use a toothpick to adjust the distance between the teeth. Do not squeeze too hard to avoid distorting the teeth, but enough to make the teeth grip the string. Now, I will go back to the small piece of aluminum that was carefully cut from the blister pack. This piece of aluminum will act as the new pin, so I need to align it very precisely. I place the aluminum piece on the worn pin, then gently adjust each edge to see if the size is right. Because the aluminum piece is quite thin and pliable, the measurement must also be done carefully to avoid distortion or misalignment. Once I have determined the right size, I gently fold the aluminum piece back a little, creating a thin crease. Then, I take the glue bottle and squeeze a sufficient amount onto the top of the pin. I spread the glue evenly so that when I stick the aluminum piece on, the glue will stick firmly and not create any dents. Once the glue is evenly applied, I place half of the aluminum piece on top and gently press it in. I hold it for a while so that the aluminum piece is fixed and begins to stick firmly to the pin surface. When the top part was relatively firm, I continued to squeeze the glue down to the bottom part of the latch. Then, I folded the remaining aluminum down, covering the latch like a new layer of armor. I used pliers to gently press each edge to make sure the aluminum piece was in the right position, not leaning to the left or right. The pliers created a strong and even force, helping the aluminum piece to be locked tightly to the latch without moving. I gently squeezed from top to bottom, checking again to make sure both aluminum edges hugged the latch body properly. When finished, the latch looked very neat and sturdy, as if it had been completely renovated. Now, after fixing the new latch, I will try to install the two sides of the lock together to check the result. I put the lock head in the right position, gently pushed the newly made latch into the zipper slot as we usually do with a normal lock. And it was really surprising. The aluminum piece from the pillbox worked more smoothly than I thought. The new latch immediately fit into the side lock, no longer missing, misaligned or popped out like before. When I tried to pull the lock up, the lock moved smoothly, neatly, without any problems. The feeling of the jacket being revived made me very satisfied. A small trick, making use of discarded items, but the effect was extremely surprising. The jacket that seemed unusable, now with just a little creativity and a few small steps, is back to its original state. So with just a little time and ingenuity, we were able to save a jacket that seemed to be discarded. From a worn-out zipper that made the zipper unable to work, I immediately took advantage of an aluminum foil blister, something that most people throw away, to create a new zipper that is both sturdy, fits well, and pulls up and down extremely smoothly. I believe that the best thing is not only being able to repair a jacket, but also the feeling of doing something useful with your own hands, turning seemingly useless items into solutions to your own problems. Little tips like this help us save money, make use of old items, and most of all, bring joy when we can repair our favorite items ourselves. Hopefully, today's tip will help you deal with those annoying zippers at home, or at least give you a new creative idea that you can apply when encountering similar situations. If you find the video useful, don't forget to like, share with your friends, and subscribe to the channel so I have more motivation to share more interesting tips. Thank you for watching until the end of the video. See you in the next content.